I talk a lot about the importance of liver health and detoxification, and I take a lot of my clients through liver flushes a couple times of the year, especially now because of all the things that we're talking about. Can you touch on the importance of liver health and PCOS, or hormonal imbalance in general?
Oh, well, the liver is the most incredible organ. It's a manufacturing center for various different proteins, binding proteins like sex hormone binding protein. It's the detoxification premier center of the body. And, it's just an incredible organ that is not sort of, I say, embraced and respected enough. And it's very interlinked with gut health. Then we even have a term called enterohepatic circulation. Entero is the gut and hepatic is the liver and the circulation. So there's tremendous linkage. When you have the right bacteria and you have the right diet that provides the proper fibers and you have the right microbes, you make what are called short chain fatty acids. These are fermentation metabolic products. Okay, so they're made by the action of the microbes on the fibers and converts them into these short chain fatty acids. And some of these actually connect directly with receptors that go into the vessels and the nerves that feed into the liver and control a lot of liver health. In addition, there are receptors on the vagus nerve, which is part of the autonomic nervous system. The vagus nerve controls what's called the parasympathetic part, which is what should be the status quo when you're not being traumatized or in a major stressed state. It should be the natural, like, baseline state of calmness, of good motility of the gut, of everything kind of working right, not having a heartbeat that's crazy fast or arteries that are all constricted and getting in like hypertension. But if you don't have the right gut microbiome and you don't make the right, or have the right diet, you don't make these short chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate, which can bind to the receptors specifically somehow evolved on the vagus nerve, then you won't have proper parasympathetic output. And that keeps gut motility moving properly. And that connects with proper, so you don't have SIBO, overgrowth of bacteria or fungus in the small intestine, maintaining a healthy gut microbiome, which will totally interconnect with liver health and total body inflammation as well. Because when you don't have enough what we call vagal tone, you go into a more of a stressed state, and then everything becomes sort of in disarray, including the liver. And we know that part of detoxification, this is a total team effect. So we have like different phases of detoxification. And phase 1 starts in the small intestine. And then you have phase 3 and you have phase 4, and they're like in the liver. And then you have a whole astrabalum. You have in the intestine a whole group of microbes just designed to metabolize estrogen. It's all completely interconnected. When you have one thing out of whack, like you don't have the right food, you don't have the right sleep, which can affect the autonomic nervous system. You don't have the right hormonal balance. You have disarray, and then you have altered gut motility, which can give you constipation or diarrhea, which we often call like irritable bowel syndrome, which can be like we write IBS/D for diarrhea, or C or M for mixed. And all of this is really interconnected with your hormones and your gut and your liver. So this is like a unit. You have to think of them as not isolated organs. These are all interconnected, and the short chain fatty acids produced by the microbes affect liver health, and liver health in turn affects, of course, how you detoxify, and how you detoxify affects everything, because if you have circulating toxic chemicals that you can't get rid of, it's like totally like a big mess up for the whole body. It's really amazing. Back way thousands of years ago, the Chinese understood, for example, that Parkinson's disease is a disease of the liver. And people would laugh at that. It's like, what are they talking about? What does the liver have to do with Parkinson's? That's a neurological disease involving the brain. Well, now we know when you don't properly detoxify, which is predominantly done in the liver, then you have toxins that circulate and get into the brain and can predispose to Parkinson's disease. There's not one part of the body that isn't affected by the liver. And when you have systemic inflammation, gut dysbiosis, you're going to have liver inflammation, and that's going to progress into what we now call steatosis, which is the new term for fatty liver. But when you, like what you mentioned, when you have fatty liver, you don't just have fatty liver, you have fatty pancreas, you have fatty heart, you have fatty muscles. So nothing in the body is going to be working properly. And the liver is just, I mean, we should just bow down and respect the liver and realize that we cannot have foods and medicines. I just want to throw out that the number one cause of acute liver failure is actually overdosing, and not intentionally overdosing, on acetaminophen, which is like thrown around like it's nothing. Like, oh, just go take some acetaminophen, brand name Tylenol. Okay. Yep. I mean, that's the number one cause of acute liver failure. And liver transplants, the number one cause now is the fatty liver, the steatosis. And it's no longer due to drug, hepatitis, that's or even alcoholic liver disease. It's number one, this metabolic disease of fatty liver.
What you're saying is hitting home, because I have a family member whose liver doctor has put them on steroids to lower their AST and ALT count, but won't let her take liver supporting cleansing supplements. And liver doctors think that all supplements are bad. And so anyway, I just love what you said. I'm going to have her listen to this. But you got to live your liver. And I love that you said that it affects everything in your body, that organ. And it's under so much burden now in our modern day society with the toxins, the GMOs. It's hard to eat food that is real food anymore. And we haven't even gotten into processed foods.